In the first order of operations video, we looked at how Pemdas can be applied to any order of operations problem. And we did use parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. Today we're going to add on to that. We're going to look at how parentheses, which can also include brackets and braces, how those affect the order of operations. Now, brackets and braces, just like parentheses, all get lumped in here. Okay? So, in the first video, we looked at the problem 7 plus 8 plus 2 to the third power times 6 minus 7. And we went through and we're going to solve this normally. So in this case, I'm going to start with my parentheses. 7 plus 8 is 15. I no longer have anything except for a value, so the parentheses is no longer useful. We talked briefly about exponents. 2 to the third power, which is nothing more than 2 times 2 times 2. So that's 4. 4 times 2 is 8. Then we have times 6, we have minus 7. In this case, I went ahead and did two operations in the same line just to kind of help speed things along. With any of you guys as my students, I would like you to do one thing at a time and we'll go from there. Okay, so looking at this line, I don't have any parentheses left, I don't have any exponents left. So I'm going to look for any multiplication and division. Well, I see one in the middle. I have 8 times 6. 8 times 6 is 48. And I'm going to bring down anything that I did not use. Now, I'm going to look at my line. I have addition and subtraction, which are both on the same line for PEMDAS, so we're going to simply work it left to right. So 8 plus 5 is 13, carry the 1, that's 2, 4, 6, 63 minus 7. 63 minus 7 is, 56. See, even when you're being careful, it's easy to make mistakes. Now, we see that this problem came out to be 56. So here's my question. What happens if we add in an extra set of parentheses or we put in brackets or braces? How is that going to affect the problem? So our original problem was 7 plus 8 in parentheses plus 2 cubed times 6 minus 7. So in this case, what happens if I go through and I put a bracket in around all of this? So what it's saying is that before we're done with our parentheses, everything inside of these brackets is going to be solved as well. Now, when you're talking about multiple sets of parentheses, you have to work from the inside out, okay? So we have to start with the most inside one, which is still going to be 7 plus 8. Now, again, I've used everything inside of there, so I don't have anything left to worry about. Okay, and then these brackets were sitting around all of this with a minus 7 out in the back. Okay, so in here I have, let's put our little PEMDAS chart on here so we don't make any silly mistakes. I have an exponent, so we're going to take care of that next. So, as we talked about before, 2 to the third power was 8, or 2 times 2 times 2. We have times 6, we have plus 15, and all of it's still inside the braces, and I have the subtract 7 on the outside. So I have 8 times 6, which is 48, plus 15. My braces are still there because I'm not down to just one number. I have an operation in there still. 8 and 5 is 13, carry the 1, that's 63, and I don't have anything left in there, so my brackets can go away. And then I have 63 minus 7 is 56. So in this case, based on where I put my brackets, it didn't change the outcome. So what happens if we add parentheses or brackets to a different part? So if we take the same problem, we have 7 plus 8, in parentheses, plus 2 cubed times 6 and minus 7. So what happens if we separate or segment part of this out? So what happens if I put a second set of parentheses, or I could use brackets or braces. They're all going to be the same thing around here. How is this going to change our outcome? So in this case, I still have 15, and that uses up everything inside of there, plus 2 cubed, which is 8. Now they're in parentheses, times 6 minus 7. So 15 plus 8 is going to be 23, and I don't have anything left in there, times 6 minus 7. Ooh, this is looking very, very different this time, isn't it? So 3 times 6 is 18. I'm going to carry the 1. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 1 is 13. So I have 138 minus 7, which leaves me with 131. So simply by putting in a second set of parentheses into a different spot, like I said, you could have also changed these out to become brackets. It does not matter because they serve the same purpose. But it changes the outcome of the problem because it changes what is important to do when. Remember, we're always working inside the parentheses before we do anything. That's always our first step, and we're going to work our way down the list, and we're going to do it over and over and over again until we get down to just simply having one value.